showed up in the last 10 or 12 minutes of film from the game on Saturday?
Yeah, I'd say like physicality wasn't where we needed to be. I'd say on the defensive side, for us, when teams tried to drive the ball or when they were cutting, we need to do a great job being physical on those drives. That's where we've been good, is being able to have like a collision on the drive so we don't have it be a straight line drive. So they were getting us both on cutting and on those drives. And I think offensively for us, it's the same thing, being physical on our cuts. So, like, we got a few back cuts and things along those lines, but they were bodies in front of our bodies. We've got to be the, throw our hands up, have some physicality to how we run offense. That's something we've done a pretty good job of this year. We've gotten to the foul line at a reasonable rate and certainly didn't do that. So I think the physicality on both ends has to be a level higher for us to be successful later in those games.
I think that was probably the first time, maybe all year, that the defense disappeared for an extended amount of time.
Yep.
Why do you think that happened with the guys? I mean, was it just a tough situation on the road or what?
Yeah, I mean, I think a couple things. One, I do think that we started thinking instead of just being the aggressor. Hey, this cutter's going. Who should take this guy? Who's got this drive? So there was some where we were thinking more than just playing and being the aggressor, which is what we work on every day. I also believe that there's, when you're on the road, there's different challenges that come into play, and so that affected us. We've only had the one true road game up to this point. And then I do think there was some physical fatigue that set in. I mean, what we're asking of a guy like Isaiah Brockington and playing 38 minutes and to do what he does across the board. So all those things probably contributed to it. We've got to get back to being the aggressor, the team that's, dictating, setting the tone. That's who we are as a basketball team.
Does this game have any? Has Tristan talked about this game at all to you? Or?
He hasn't. I mean, look, obviously, we're all competitive, and I'm sure that he knew there's going to be a chance to go back there and play this game. So we just hope that competitive spirit comes out and shows in everything that he's done. But he hadn't specifically brought up anything pertaining to this game with me.
What do you remember about the last time about being done? I don't. Did you play there when you were at UNLV? You did not, did you?
No. I just say, like, when you go to any place on the road, especially there, that you can't get caught up in the environment. You've got to eliminate turnovers by being physical, cutting hard, doing the things that you need to do. The game speed is really fast on long rebounds and turnovers, so you got to sprint back and transition. So you can't let those things come into play. I mean, the court's the same size. I get it. It's a environment where people come out and support their team. At the same time, if we're the aggressor and we're the more physical team, we can dictate the game that we want.
What does it say about the caliber of everyone in the Big 12 this year? This game doesn't necessarily, it's road trip to Allen Fieldhouse, oh my gosh, it jumps off the page. It doesn't jump off the page because of how challenging every single one is, especially early.
Yeah, every night out is tough, and certainly to your point, we've had some tough ones already. I know that, Kansas has been a good team, and so, I know to our fans maybe, or to whoever, that might feel different, but every game's a challenge. Every night out's going to be tough. Every team's physical. I think at first, when people look at the league, they don't believe that to be true, but now that we've seen 3 league games and then throughout the league, you see every night out that there's teams, it's going down to the wire. The home team has been successful a lot of times. It's tough to win on the road. So I just think the Big 12, I've been here a lot of years, it's been really good. And right now the identity is it's really good defensively across the board. It's really, a challenge to score on the road. And so you've got to make sure that you're doing everything with intent and physicality from start to finish.
TJ, you started 12-0, now you had a little adversity. What do you tell the guys as the schedule ramps up with this adversity that they haven't faced early on?
Well, more than anything, we need to keep being who we are and how we've gotten to this point. And it's pressure of the ball, it's rebounding energy, it's ball toughness, and then it's the togetherness, all the extra time we've spent together. You want that to come out when things become more challenging. And so we knew that there was going to come a time we lost a game. We knew, that our league, how good it is, and especially the start of our league schedule. So, at the end of the day, we just have to keep working hard and getting better and be focused on how can we improve every day, not as caught up in what some of the outcomes may or may not be, because everybody's going to take losses. It's going to be a tough season in the Big 12.
What kind of challenges
McCormick and Lightfoot cracking the paint against you guys?
Yeah, I mean, they're both veteran guys with some physicality, you know. I mean, Lightfoot's been there for quite a while, and McCormick as well. So, like, those guys are physical. They are guys that play really hard. I know that, you know, now obviously they've gone to Lightfoot more in the starting lineup and McCormick off the bench. So, you know, they're effort-based guys. They're guys that are going to be physical on the boards, offensively and defensively. They're guys that finish around the rim. So, you know, they pose a physical challenge, and we need to step up and match that challenge.
There was a time when players transferring within a conference was controversial or scandalous, and I mean now it seems like it's probably going to be closer to the norm. What does that do for a league? What kind of dynamic is that when you guys are already out trying to kill each other, and now you're going to be recruiting each other's players?
Yeah, you know, certainly we had one player come from Kansas, and they had one come from here. I think we all realize that's just part of how this is going to be right now. We're all competitive. We all want to put together the best team we can and then play at the highest level. So, you know, variables change. We all have to adapt, and that's the way the rules are at this point. So everybody's got to work to follow the rules and then use the rules to the best of their ability to put the best team together and play their best. So it's just another thing that we have to, you know, we have to hit head on.
You say at this point, are you in favor of the portal?
I think the transfer portal is good because I think, you know, young people should have the opportunity to play where they feel is best for them. If they're to come somewhere and that's not what they believe is in their best interest, I mean, I feel like I would be a hypocrite. I've had an opportunity to go places that I've wanted to go that I feel like is best for me. So I think that, you know, I'm not for or against, but I understand why the rule is what it is. And it's you know, when you have a one-time transfer opportunity, if you're not in the right spot for you, you have a chance to try to find that right spot. So I'm a big guy in accountability. I really believe in trying to hold people accountable and staying the course and fighting through adversity. At the same time, the way I was brought up and did things or was taught to do things may be different than the way they are now. And so, like, I don't think it's a negative, like I know a lot of coaches do. I just think it's a chance for guys to find the right spot for them and then move forward.
Given all that, how is it understated? I mean, because guys, teams can fill gaps with experienced players, and a true freshman like Tyrese comes in at a key spot. Do people underestimate the challenge that he faces, adjusting to the speed of the game, the IQs of so many experienced players, and, you know, his evolution is, I guess, been kind of remarkable.
Well, certainly there's been, I think, even in this environment, when you look at guys like Monte Morris and Tyrese Halliburton, I mean, those are two starting point guards in the NBA and probably two of the best in the NBA in terms of running a team, taking care of the basketball. So I think sometimes that also skews what we realize how tough that is. You know, went through over the break and looked at all the top 6 conferences, and I think there's maybe 22 freshmen starting in all those leagues, and like 5 of them, 6 of them are point guards. So when you really think of what we're asking of Tyrese Hunter, it's a tall task, and he's continuing to get better, and he's a competitor and loves the challenge. But there's a reason why the Big 12 is the best league in the country, and one part of that reason is everybody's old. Everybody's playing experienced guys. There's not very many freshmen or even sophomores playing on the teams in this league.